Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. Oops, we got cards flipping over here. That's a few of them, so we'll keep shuffling there. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 7th through the 13th. And during that time, we will have a waning gibbous moon. And that's a good time for self-reflection and rebirth, a good time to make positive changes, kind of get rid of bad habits and negative thinking, and just keep working towards those things that you started on the new moon. And then we do move into the last quarter moon, which is a time of reflection, just really releasing what no longer serves us, taking responsibility for things that we've recently done, and starting to think about things that we might want to change for the next cycle ahead. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Virgo. So as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: your dreams need a practical plan. All right, let's see what the Virgos need to do to be practical. It wouldn't surprise me for a Virgo to be the most practical, because isn't that part of what being a Virgo is all about? So, very practical. All right. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you take some time to meditate this week. Still yourself, your mind, your body, go within and really quiet your mind and just explore. So if that's hard for you to do, Virgo, if you need to get some headphones, there's lots of guided meditations on YouTube that can be helpful. Otherwise, I'm sure on other platforms as well. If you need a little help that way. If not, just go ahead and do that and try to work that into your routine if you can. It's just a really good thing. And if you're like me, it takes me quite a bit to want to settle down for that amount of time. I mean, I can usually get a good 5 minute or so meditation. Any longer than that, sometimes I'll fall asleep. I just get relaxed. But to stay awake and try to focus, I really have to be very intentional about it. So just my fun weekly reminder is that you try to work that into your routine. So, all right, let's get into this reading. Virgo, December 7th through the 13th. Your dreams need a practical plan, and your overall present situation is the Empress. And boy, isn't she about the practical plan? It's the ultimate creativity card. You know, for some, this can be the card of pregnancy, so pay attention to that. If that's something in your realm right now, or you don't want it to be in your realm, pay attention. But this is about the long-term plan, that is long term. I mean, in most cases, this is, about giving birth. So this would be a lifelong plan, many, at least 18 good years, right? So this is about, the creativity to come up with something that you are going to build and take the time to chip away at and really craft and build. So, if that's the kind of dream that you're talking about, then it does need a practical plan. You need to know how to chip away at those things. Your current situation right now is the death card. So it could be that there's some sort of major ending that you're going through. Of course, this can be actual death. I have to mention that. But typically, the death card isn't about death. It's about the death of something, the death of something that's ending for you. And that you are having to kind of recalculate, recreate your life. If it, this could be the death of someone around you, an actual person, or just the death of a way of being, in my own self, I think about, being a parent, and then when your kids get older, it's kind of like a little mini death, because you're changing who you are. You're not focused on having little kids around you anymore. You get to evolve and change, how your life becomes now that you're the parent of adult children, instead of little kids. It's just a change in your life, and it's something that's very natural to go through. So but something is changing there, that you do need some sort of practical plan. There's a big ending for you there, but endings bring beginnings, right? At the root of your situation is some sort of partnership here. So for some of you, this could be the end of some sort of friendship or partnership, or, maybe even work. For some of you, you might be facing retirement, and that's the kind of partnership that's coming to an end. For some of you, it might not be retirement. It just might just be that you are changing jobs, that it's the end of one job, moving to a different job. Just kind of depends on where you are in your life flow. And again, tarot is a template. So this can template over different Virgo situations, but you are definitely thinking about the next phase of your life, whether you're a young person changing and moving into parenthood, or in the middle of that and changing in from having small kids into teenagers. I'm thinking, so all those different phases of life that happen. So depending on where you are in your phase, it's about moving into that next phase for you, or at least thinking about it and starting to plan for it. In your recent past, here is the Devil card. So there might have been something here, some sort of false truth that came to light that is making you question and making you want to think about this plan and come up with this practical plan that you need to do. There might have just been something that you're like, oh, I haven't even thought about it that way, So, and it could have come out of something negative, or something that, the devil card is about false truths and being, it's like lack of confidence, fear of failure, that sort of thing. And some of those things, the devil is sometimes a catalyst for making us think, oh, I do need to make a change there. So not always is it bad. I mean, I think it's bad if you fall into that thinking cycle as a way of being. But if you let that thing trigger you into thinking, oh, I need to stop and make a change because if it's like a fear of failure, may push you into being a success at something, right? So that's where that can be a positive kind of a catalyst to make you change and do things a little bit differently. What is on your mind this week is the Judgment card. So definitely some sort of truth has come to mind here, that you've made some sort of judgment about us, judgment or about something. This is about having a new awareness. So again, that could have come from here. That's, this ending, everything that's kind of going on with you is just making your awareness change and making you think, oh, I need a better plan. Need a better plan here for the future. um so very interesting. Also, I will say, when I start to see there's other people involved in this, and only because when I start to look around at these cards and I start to see a lot of other people in the cards, it's not like each card is just looking directly at you, which I would say is kind of an inner thing, but you're kind of thinking bigger picture, not only about you, but also the people around you, your friends, family, that sort of thing. And again, if this is work related, it might also be about people that you work with. What is just ahead of you this week is a little bit of celebration here with the Three of Cups. So I think, you might get some sort of clarity this week that might lead to that kind of celebration. Like, almost like, yay, we got through that problem. Yay. Before the next one, let's celebrate a little bit before the next thing arises, because that's life, and I guarantee you it will. What is in your advice position here is the Five of Swords. So, to me, the advice is that you have to say the things that need to be said, and feelings might get hurt, but I feel like there are some endings and things going on where the harsh words are just needed. It's not always fun, but you might just have to say those harsh words, or the things that need to be said. Again, like just kind of those true life things that maybe people don't want to hear. It looks like you might have to be the bearer of those tidings this week. So good luck with that. What is beyond your control is the Six of Cups, which definitely has us also reminiscing about something and thinking about things, days gone by, and maybe this uncomfortable thing, maybe there's been some ending and some change where harsh words didn't need to be said. And I'm not even saying harsh, but things that are true that are maybe not fun to say. And it might make you just really wish for simpler times when you didn't have to say those words, or those things appeared to be obvious, and when you didn't have to be the person who said those things, right? So pay attention to that this week. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid is the Seven of Pentacles here. So I hope it's your secret desire to just get to this is kind of a resting point where, the seeds have been planted. You're waiting on that harvest to come in, almost like you do this kind of work and you're just kind of waiting for the reward. You're waiting for that thing to come in. So is that your secret desire, or are you trying to even just avoid what is about to come in from seeds you've planted? Those could be positive and negative seeds. They may be financial, but they may also be emotional and otherwise. So pay attention to that. That's kind of your big question this week is, are you trying to avoid kind of waiting for that harvest, or is it your secret desire for that to come in? In your outcome position is the Page of Cups, which tells me that you're going to end, after all of this and after all of this change and moving forward, that you're at least going to end this week on a happy and light and kind of a humorous note, that at least you're going to be able to use your sense of humor to get through that. And that's never a horrible thing. What is hidden from you this week at the bottom of the deck is the moon card. So it's not like you're going to get a whole lot of help, from the universe when it comes to like synchronistic things or dreams, that sort of thing. That's kind of hidden from you this week. So things are kind of cut and dried. It seems like a situation where it is what it is. You're going to have to manage it and deal with it. It's not like you're going to get a lot of intuitive help or help from like the dream realm or anything. It seems like this is stuff that's very rooted in reality. So again, your overall message here was your dreams need a practical plan. And I think it is about coming up with those things that are very practical and how you're going to manage and deal with this thing that you've made this long-term commitment towards. So, all right, let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Virgo is have faith. So remember, practical plan, have faith. This thing that you've come up with, this plan seems like it's going to work. There might be some bumps in the road at first, but again, we're going to have a sense of humor towards the end of the week here and at least get through this. And when it comes to self-care, Virgo, the card that you get is the card called Self. I love the art on here. Look, she's escaping her bird cage. If beating yourself up worked, you'd be thin, rich, and happy. Try loving yourself instead. Well, ain't that the truth? That's a great card. I love that. So yeah, I think you're going to end the note and the week, Virgo, on a light note, again with a little bit of a sense of humor coming in at whatever this ending is. It's almost like I feel like you're kind of foreseeing this ending, like you knew it was coming. It's here, and now it's at your doorstep and you have to deal with it. I don't think it's like a really big surprise for you. So because you've been kind of coming up with a plan for how to manage this. So anyway, Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use this week positively. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what it is that you're going through. Was there some sort of ending or something that you're preparing for? You preparing for like the next phase of your life? But if you do, you're going to have a sense of humor about it. You're going to be celebrating it. There's some hard truths that are going to come out and things, but and you're pensive. I mean, you're thinking about things that are going to come in as a reward, and also you're a little bit nostalgic about some things too. So there's a lot going on here, but I think you're going to get through it and you're going to be fine at the end of the week. So thanks so much again for being here. If you like my reading style, Virgo, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, but most importantly, it'll help you find me next week and you can come back and we can see where this story goes. So thanks so much and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.